Hello, everybody. This is a Lamley preview. Brand new Hot Wheels Team Transport coming out for 2023. Fantastic set of three that we are going to open and showcase right now, including maybe the best transporter they've done so far, hauler, whatever you want to call it. Before we do that, too, just a little preview. I've got a fourth Team Transport, the next Legends set. Now, I'm going to save this for the next video, and we're going to open this up because this thing is magnificent. I'll try and get the details on when this is going to be available and how it's going to be available, but it is coming, and Mattel sent this along with these three. So you'll get a bonus Team Transport video here very, very soon. I've got a few things that I want to do with that one, and I'll talk about another Team Transport related video that I'm going to do very soon. But let's get right to it. I don't have them in order. I'm going to do them in order of in interest, but I think all three sets of these are very cool. That's number 55, 53, number 54. I want to talk about that set last, but let's get right to it. And let's start with this set. This is the 70 Rover P6 Group 2 and the Hot Wheels Rally Hauler. This is the second time we've seen the Rally Hauler. It's an unlicensed van, has a Ford vibe. It also has a very British vibe to it, hence the pairing with the Rover, I think. You know, obviously it was a Ford. It was in a Ford Deco with one of the Ford Rally cars. Can't remember which one. In the last time it was released. And so this one makes a ton of sense. Now, I've seen some comments on this set. Some people saying, oh, you know, it's kind of boring. It's going to be a peg warmer. Well, I would say to my fellow collectors, this is the kind of variety. If this were another Gasser or a Datsun wagon or an R34, we'd see the same cause. Oh, just another this and that. This is definitely a gem when it comes to variety. Could this van have been licensed? That would have been cool. But ultimately, I think this set is absolutely beautiful, especially in these colors. I'll show you the back. There are the three sets. As obviously, we're going to open those up. It'll be in stores soon. And there's Julian's artwork, which is always a massive treat to look at. And then we're going to rip it right open. So let's get right to it. Let's start. Well, let's just open it. And we'll start with the hauler, and then we'll move to the car. And obviously, this is a two-piece. I'm going to move this down just a little bit. This is a two-piece hauler, right? I think it's the only two-piece hauler there is. Obviously, because it has the trailer. I can show you the trailer real quick if you want to look at it. It's pretty much the same as the first version. Here is the van. I'm trying to see if there's any Rover. No, so sometimes I think there might be some licensing. Like some brands will be like, yeah, we're cool. Obviously, we'll get to the Alfa Romeo that has Alfa Romeo on the hauler. Some brands might say, no, we only want our name on an actual vehicle that we've produced, replica of an actual vehicle. So maybe that was something that Rover didn't want on this. So this one is an unbranded but very cool looking van. I love the way the colors were done here in the red, white, and blue. I would say that's a British homage versus an American homage, but very, very cool van. And then obviously puts together with this trailer, which is nice. But here is the Rover. Obviously, we've seen this once before. This was in Boulevard last year. This is a livery that we've seen on an actual car. Mark Jones really wanted to do this car. He sported it up a little bit, gave it a Hot Wheels vibe, and it has just a fantastic stance. Really liked it in this red. I think it's an underrated model. I've still seen a couple on the pegs, which is unfortunate, because I think Hot Wheels fans should appreciate a car like this, and I think a lot of you have this and do appreciate it. I don't want to kind of like just run some collective thing, but it hasn't been, you know, as popular as maybe some models. But there's that version, and then we have this new version, which looks so cool as well. That red and blue. I'd have to go and look and see if this is based on an actual racing livery or something similar, you know, kind of that tribute style livery that we've seen, like, you know, with Martini and things like that. Maybe that is something like this, but I love this look on this one. I actually might like it better with the two-tone racing stripe and everything else on it, and the Rover on the side and on the hood. I think this is a fantastic model. So we'll put that together, try and tow that over here. I'll have to play with that one just a little bit. All right, next set. Alfa Romeo 155 V6 Ti plus the Fleet Flyer. This is a really nice truck, one of the original Team Transport trucks, if I remember correctly. There is the artwork, And this one, like I said, has Alfa Romeo branding on it, which looks so good. I mean, we deal with what we deal with, right? I could have seen this with just plain red, right, and black, but now that it has the Alfa Romeo branding on it, even on the cab as well, I think that is just super, super cool. Don't know if that's a racetrack that's recognizable. Some of you folks might be able to tell me if that's something that we've seen before. But let's get this thing opened up. I really do like these Team Transport sets, but of course I do. I mean, is that a big surprise? Get these over here. Start with the truck. Oh, this has a little, oh, that's kind of nice. Look at that. I was wondering, it looked a little dusty, but they've put a little protector piece on here. That's nice. I wonder if that just slides out. That is very nice, considering sometimes these can get, it's so wide it kind of sits right at the edge of the blister. It's kind of cool. All right, let's talk about the truck. Close that up. Cars fit inside. I don't think there's a little piece there to hold the car from in a position in the blister. We'll just keep it as is. Love this. Truck looks great. Two-tone looks great. You could obviously put this together with maybe like a super silhouette skyline. The colors make sense. Obviously the Alfa Romeo branding might change that a little bit. Cab looks nice. And I like the wheels on this one too. Very well done. Really, really nice. When they can do the branding on the truck, it's so much better in my opinion. Obviously, who's going to disagree with me on that? And I would say Hot Wheels probably agrees with me on that. So that's a really, really nice truck, but this is what I'm interested in. And obviously, we've already been talking about this model for a little bit. Released last year in Boulevard as well. Brilliant, brilliant model. Great race car. Got I believe this is exact deco on this one in the original Boulevard version. And just, Matchbox did this model a few decades ago, and then Hot Wheels version, obviously in premium, adds a few more details and that crispness of designs today, which I just love. There's nothing to complain about with this model. It's just near perfect. Then we've just recently, in the Spettacolori set, seen this version in a Martini Tribute livery that we've talked about, and it looks really good in that deco. And so we've just tripled this collection very quickly with this version. Another racing look, very similar to the first, but I like the 5-spoke wheels on this one. You get some other design cues that are very similar in terms of deco and livery on this one. Racing livery as well, I think. And I'd have to go back and look and see if it's based on anything that we've seen before, but I think this looks tremendous. All right, 2 for 2 on the sets, I think. Getting a little bit of rain, but we're going to keep on going unless it really drops. But this is the set that has me most intrigued. This is the 61 Impala, which we saw before in a sneak peek video, but it's the Chevy Ram truck that I'm most interested in. We've seen this one previewed, but we did not see a completed version even last month, or whenever I don't know, post this video, in April, when we sat down with Mark Jones and Jimmy Lou and discussed premium. They had a prototype version of it. They didn't show us the completed, so we now have the completed truck, and I am very excited to open it up. There is the artwork. Love that we have a vintage racing vibe with this set. And let's talk about, usually I do the transporter first and then the car, but I'm going to reverse that here, because as much as I like this 61 Impala, it really is the truck that intrigues me the most. Let's see if we can get this out without... these in the shot here. All right, start with the car. Very cool vintage vibe here. I think the only time we've seen this car in premium was Fast and Furious. And I think that's what this casting was made for, was for Fast and Furious. Don't know what the movie is, don't remember the role. You guys will tell me, but a nice kind of, lowered of course on the 5 spokes, which looks nice, has a real nice hot roddy feel to it, a very muscle car feel to it. Now we get, I love what they did is they took that casting and then now have made it, just given it a full vintage racing vibe with like a retro looking livery, El Segundo Chevrolet, which is kind of a nice touch here. 2-tone, 61 looks like it's just hand painted on the side and on the roof. It's just very much classic racing, like I said, vintage racing, and a very nice fit for the hauler. So really, really cool car. And by itself, like if this were in Boulevard or Car Culture or anything else, this is a superstar. And in Team Transport, it is a superstar as well. Just I want to see more vintage racing style cars, and we're starting to see them kind of creep in a little bit more. almost continuations of the original vintage racing set that they did back in 2010. So most welcome addition to the set. But let's talk about this. This thing is tremendous. This is the third licensed hauler that we've gotten, right? The first one, I pulled out the Momo version, was the VW. That actually came in the very first mix of Team Transport, right? This wasn't the actual version. I think it was a Urban Outlaw version, but this is the Momo version. So we had the VW, which is a very nice license. And then we've had the Ford truck, right? And this was a really nice hauler as well. And I love the vintage Ford cab here. What's the name of this one? C800. Really like that cab. So that's a very nice one too. But the versatility of this one is what is so cool. And I love the fact that they didn't put a racing or a racing team deco on this. They just made it look like a stock Chevy truck, C10 truck, right? And now I don't know if Chevy produced these kind of ramp trucks or if this was something that someone had to, take the bed off and then put this hauler bed on it. I'm not sure. Someone else can tell me. But obviously we've seen haulers like this, and I think it's just awesome. So we end up with a metal chassis on this, obviously. There is the C10 pickup that they shrunk for basic, which is terrible. And it's just way too small. And the classic one was pretty good, but this one is at the level of car culture. It looks so cool. It would be nice if they actually did a truck and just put a regular bed on this too as like a companion piece. But this ramp truck, I just think the versatility here, well, we're obviously going to see it in other liveries and probably some racing team style liveries, which will be great. But the fact that they've given us the first one as a stock Chevy truck, ramp truck, oh, the possibilities are endless. And that's what the sequel of this video is going to be. I remember at Luftgekühlt, which is the Porsche show, the air-cooled Porsche show that is done, it was in LA a few months ago. It was in San Francisco just recently, but one of the cooler car shows around, and I would love to attend in person one of these days. But they had there one of these Chevy ramp trucks with a vintage Porsche on top, and I love the combination. So I've gone through my collection, and the sequel to this video, it'll come in the next few days, is what cars look best with this Chevy hauler. And I'm going to draw from car culture mainly, and some other like vintage racing and things, and just obviously a lot of Chevrolets. I might be blasphemous and put some other branded cars like Fords or Mopars on here, but some JDM, some Euro. We're just going to see what looks best on this and decide what cars are the best combination. So love this set. You guys tell me what you think, which one you like the best. I think just by sake of the ramp truck, I like the and the vintage racing Impala. That's my favorite, but there's not a weak one in this bunch at all. A fantastic set, especially after we've seen one with the boat, just recently, right? So very much a fantastic return to form with this one. Thank you, everybody. I'll get that other set, that Porsche set open soon. Bye.